There are few things in life that bring me more joy and inspiration than driving off into the unknown of remote and wild places. So before setting out on this 700-kilometer off-road adventure, I didn't really bother to research what I was getting myself into or what sights I might see. I didn't yet realize how few humans I would encounter or just how truly remote I would find myself. I had no idea that I was about to experience one of the most incredible displays of autumn I've ever seen, or that I would be surrounded by beautiful mountains full of very angry grizzly bears. And I most certainly had no way of knowing that I would be surprised by one of the most mind-blowingly spectacular aurora borealis shows that I have witnessed in my life. After nearly 10 years on the road full-time, I now live in a constant state of preparedness, and so I trusted myself to take it as it comes and know when enough is enough. The northern part of the Canal Road begins with a barge crossing out of the small community of Ross River, which runs very limited hours from 8 a.m. till noon and 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. Outside of those hours, the road is cut off from the rest of the world, which I found very exciting. Disembarking was the start of an increasingly rough road that headed northeast 260 kilometers to the border with the Northwest Territories, with absolutely no services or fuel available whatsoever until I made it back to Ross River over 500 kilometers later in an unknown amount of time. It was a perfect autumn day to be driving into the unknown. Sunshine and blue sky with autumn colors getting more intense as the minutes went by, and the crisp edge of winter's coming softened, making for the perfect time to think and reflect, to look ahead into the future, and to continue to ponder a milestone I recently passed that I didn't exactly celebrate, nor have I really talked about it. It was a big one. A couple days ago, I passed the point of time of which I have now spent more than 25% of my life living out of a vehicle. And this is something I've been thinking about a lot for the past month-ish, and kind of having a bit of a existential crisis about it. I don't know what to think of it. I am simultaneously proud of myself for enduring all the different challenges associated with living this way for that long. 8 winters without heat, almost 10 years without a refrigerator or bathroom or shower or laundry, relying on public facilities, always finding somewhere different to sleep at night, having no space to call my own, and just always being out in the world, spending most of my time outside in the elements year-round. No conventional sense of security in any way, and also just like one bad accident away from being homeless and vehicleless and my life being a nightmare. And so I'm proud that I've endured all that, and that it's made me a stronger person, and that it's shown how truly resilient I am. But at the same time, I didn't set out to live in a van. It wasn't the goal. I just couldn't live in a house anymore. Financially, it was an impossibility. And for my health, physical and especially emotional and spiritual health, it was going to be the end of me, and I felt like I had no choice when I gave notice with the intent of living in a tent in winter. And I was gifted a van, and that's how I ended up here. And I've just built up my life over time, and it's slowly gotten more comfortable, although it still really just feels like car camping 100% of the time. Realizing that I've now spent more than 25% of my life car camping full time, it's kind of made me wonder, what am I doing? Where am I going? What's the plan? Do I need a plan? And so as I drove, I reflected on all of the ups and downs of the past almost 10 years, more than 3,500 days of living in a more intentional and independent way than I ever lived before. And although there have been many challenges and many low points, I know that for me, this is the easiest path currently accessible to me, that I wouldn't be the person I am today if I'd stayed in a house. I don't know if I would be a person today. And I'm somebody who, as much as I savor comfort and staying in bed in the morning and snuggling with Frank, and I love to be inside on a cozy day, I really enjoy the growth that comes from choosing discomfort and intentionally and seeking out situations that are new to me and learning how to be more resourceful and building skills. And I just don't think that I would have developed as an individual as much as I have if I hadn't spent so much time living in a van. And so today I was really grateful that this ended up being my life and that I got to just spend the day driving down some dusty dirt road into what feels like the middle of nowhere in a remote part of the Canadian North. Even if the road was a little rough at times. Holy sh**. That was deep! I'm taking the other side next time. Holy, wow. That, oh boy, yeah. But for the most part, it wasn't too bad. I kept a steady pace of about 25 to 30 kilometers per hour and just enjoyed pondering and the views, and just every golden leaf was incredible. And then I entered an old burn. It was only a couple years old, but I decided to stop and take a walk around and smell the earth and reminisce of a time when I worked commercial morel picking and how that had been such a big part of me being able to afford to exist at a time when I was really scraping by. And so it was a great reminder to see life springing back and to know that no matter how much it seems like destruction in the moment, life always finds a way to flourish and to return. And no matter how dark it gets, you end up in a brighter, more colorful place. And so it was good to go for that walk and to see how just like the fire can just scorch the earth and it regrows, same too, I can go through really hard times and just bounce back and be stronger and different, you know? And so it feels really appropriate that after spending the day driving through golden places and scorched earth, that I would come to camp along Dragon Lake, where I was greeted by a beaver who swam by. Actually, the second one I saw today, I saw one earlier at a bridge crossing nearby. There was a lot of beaver activity around here, and I'm pretty sure they played a part in that massive puddle I had to drive through. So anyways, I think the sun has just dipped below the horizon. It has been a very, very long day. I have a bit of a headache, so I'm going to take tons of ibuprofen and drink tons of water, and I'm going to make myself a nice dinner. So I've cut up a bunch of sweet potato, some cauliflower, and then these are fava beans, which reminds me, I have a bunch of Labrador tea in my pants that I picked in that burn. I'm going to have to get it all out of there, and I'm going to make some fresh tea. I do have a bunch of Labrador tea dried, but I just felt really called to pick some from that burn and drink it tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna get on with this meal. Okay, so I got the fava beans in there, and we're gonna do a bit of salt and some of this Trader Joe's umami. We're gonna do some pepper. This is ginger powder. I'm on a ginger kick right now. I put lots, I just couldn't shake it and film. And then garlic powder. Put a bunch of that. Oh yes, look at that. Well seasoned. Oh boy. All right, and then I got pumpkin seeds. Yeah. Get those toasty a little bit. And last but not least, I'm going to add some of this birch maple syrup from the Yukon here. Oh yeah. Oh, let that just caramelize onto everything. Making herbal tea, especially if I've foraged it myself, is like this really simple, really nice thing I can do for myself that I just don't do as often as I should. It should definitely be a daily thing. And this I'm very looking forward to. It was just so hot. That is a great way to end the day. And if you're wondering what Labrador tea tastes like, it's a little smoky, like a little campfire flavor. It's really hard to describe, but I really enjoy it. Not everyone does, but it does have a mellowing effect. It is a mild narcotic, I believe, and might be a pain reliever. I'm not sure, but just today I was like, I'm having some Labrador tea. It is being an absolutely beautiful morning here. A little cloudy, a little overcast, a little sunny, a nice breeze. The trees just look extra golden today. And of course, Frank enjoyed his morning lounging in the sun, but it is time to leave camp. I would stay here all day, but I need a better Starlink connection because I'm doing a live stream tonight. My first with Starlink, so I want to have a really good connection because this place drops like maybe once every 10 minutes, which won't be acceptable. But this road dead ends, so I'll have to come back this way. So I might stay here again. I didn't make it too far down the road when my poking about led me to this absolutely gorgeous lake that happened to have a wide open spot for me to park that had excellent Starlink service. And I don't really know if I was supposed to be there or not, but there was no signs explicitly stating not to. And since it was unseasonably warm, I decided that we would stay so that Frank could enjoy a swim. The next day ended up being quite a bit colder and windy and rainy, so I just stayed put and spent the day working on my computer since nobody had come along to tell me I shouldn't be there. And by the time the next day came, I realized that there was no way I was going to be doing the North Canal in 4 days as I had planned. And so at that point, I decided to really take it slow, and I'm glad I did, because what was to come ended up being one of the most beautiful places I've ever experienced living in a van. And I took so much footage of the aurora borealis. It was well below freezing, and I filmed close to 3 hours of it. And because I don't want to rush through that next part of the road, and I also want to share a lot of the aurora footage with you, I'm going to actually save that for its own video that will be coming really soon. So that's it for today. I really appreciate you watching. A huge thank you to patrons. And yeah, I got a cute clip of Frank to send you off on your way, and we'll see you soon.